So this is my little apple storage experiment. This is something I've been doing for the last, this is my third season actually. And what you're seeing here on top of my freezer chest are actually the apples that are coming out of storage. This is the last batch of what's left. And I decided to pull it all out. It's going into the kitchen. And you can see actually that a lot of these apples are looking really nice. I mean, they're in prime condition, nice and firm, and good to eat. There's a lot of old apple heirlooms that are actually claimed to get better in storage, and that's actually been my experience too. The problem is you have to have the right kind of storage. If you take most apples and you put them on the kitchen counter, they'll have a tendency to go dry and mealy. The same is true if you put them in the fridge. Why? Because most refrigerators happen to have a defrosting action, which dries out the apples and pulls all the juices out. So what you end up with is mealy apples that just don't taste very good. So what we've got here is we've got some Granny Smiths. Now these are looking kind of ugly actually. Funny, interesting thing is, even though they're the ugliest of all the apples in terms of coming out of storage, they're the best tasting of all the ones I've got here. But there's some other ones. I mean, a lot of these are looking quite good. Well, this one's okay looking. I've got some, actually I've lost track of what some of the varieties are, unfortunately. Bad labeling on storage, but there's a few things in here that have done quite well. I've had great experience with Pink Lady, Braeburn. A lot of these guys will just keep forever. Actually, this one is an Empire, believe it or not, and it's still good. So how do you do it? Well, it's actually pretty simple. You're looking at a really ancient freezer chest here. This is an ugly beast that actually somebody gave it to me. So I've gone ahead and converted this freezer chest to a refrigerator. And the way I do this is I actually purchased a thermometer right here. This is the thermostat. And if you can look closely, it's hard to see here, but basically this is an adjustable thermostat right here, and it's set to about just a little bit, it's set at 33 degrees. This thing is actually connected to a thermal gauge, which is this guy right here. This thing you basically hang inside the freezer chest, and whenever the temperature drops below 33 degrees Fahrenheit, the thing will shut off the freezer chest. How does it do it? It basically does it via this little gizmo. What you do is you basically take the freezer chest and you plug it in here in the back of this plug, and then you take this plug, and that's what you actually put in to the this is what you actually put into the power strip. Of course, I got to manage to put this in here, and then basically what we do is we plug the freezer chest itself into this guy, and then what's going to happen is every time the temperature from the gauge from this guy right here, which is it's all connected, when the temperature drops inside, basically it's going to cut the power. So the effect is that you have a freezer chest which is converted to a refrigerator. It doesn't have defrost, which is really important. So if you actually go out and decide to buy, well, I'm just going to buy one of these new energy efficient refrigerator chests, then you're going to have the problem that they actually got defrost. So let's talk about the apples here really quick. We can actually cut some of these open, and you're going to see that they're in perfect quality here inside. We'll take this Granny Smith, cut it open, and you'll see just perfect flesh inside. I mean, these guys, they're crunchy, they're delicious and snappy, even though they've been in the cooler for quite a while now. This is a great way to essentially get apples throughout the winter and make your harvest last as long as possible. Not bad looking for middle of April. Few tips that are important. Lots of smells will develop inside the freezer chest, so it's important to keep it clean. Remove any rotting apples if you find any. Best is to actually wrap them individually in wax paper and keep them isolated from one another. And just check on it periodically to make sure everything's okay, and then you can basically pull apples out of here all year round. This freezer chest, I think it's about had it. I'm probably going to replace it this year. It was a freebie. Now I guess I get to haul it to the dump and actually buy a better one. So, but you can do this with pretty much any freezer chest. Be careful with the modern ones that have all kinds of electronics that might freak out when the power goes out on it. So that's basically it from the Cloud Forest. Another installment of some tips on what to do with your good apple harvest.